If you've ever wondered what is the actual beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, I got you. Let me break it down for you in just a couple minutes. So it's 2011, everything is good between Drake and Kendrick. Drake ends up dropping his album, Take Care. In this album, he features Kendrick Lamar in one of the interludes called Buried Alive. At the time, Kendrick was obviously not as well known as Drake, but Drake was on his second album. In 2012, Drake goes on to ask Kendrick and A$AP Rocky to be his opening acts on tour. Not surprisingly, Drake also has beef with A$AP Rocky, but that's a whole other story. In 2013, Kendrick is featured on a song with Big Sean called Control. In the song, he calls out a lot of the men in rap, including Big Sean and Drake. And then he says, I got a lot of love for y'all, but I'm trying to unalive y'all. Drake didn't take kindly to this. He told Billboard a month later that it sounded like an ambitious thought to him. Then Kendrick comes for Drake again at the BET Awards cypher where he says, nothing's been the same since they dropped Control and tucked a sensitive rapper back into his pajama clothes. He also calls Drake a fake. All the way up to 2016, they go back and forth, a couple mild digs here and there in a couple songs, but nothing major. Then in October 2023, Drake and J. Cole link up for the song called First Person Shooter. In J. Cole's verse, not even Drake's verse, in J. Cole's verse, he says, love when they argue the hardest MC, is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey, or is it me? Then he says, we the big three like we started the league. And if you're wondering who K. Dot is, that was Kendrick Lamar's original stage name. So in March 2024, Kendrick is then featured on a song called Like That with Future and Metro Boomin. In the song, he says, motherfucking big three, it's just big me. Basically saying, there's no big three, it's just me. Then in April 2024 is when the diss tracks officially start. Drake releases a song called Push Ups where he's basically clowning Kendrick for being short and being small. He clowns Kendrick for being 5'5". He also asks Kendrick how he's big steppin' with size 7 shoes. The song is called Push Ups because Drake is referring to Top Dog Entertainment, Kendrick's previous label, telling Kendrick to drop and give them 50 like some push-ups, but in reality, what he's talking about is that Kendrick's previous deal with the record label was a 50-50 split. 50% of all the money Kendrick made would go to the label and not him. Drake comes for Kendrick again on a song called Tailor Made Freestyle. In the song, he basically says that Kendrick Lamar is waiting for Taylor Swift to drop her album first before he releases his diss track against Drake. And the reason being is because if you didn't know, Kendrick's very first #1 song was featuring on Taylor Swift's Bad Blood, so it shot him into superstardom. Drake is basically suggesting that Taylor's like his new top dog and he has to play by her rules. Kendrick then comes for Drake on the song called Euphoria. In the song, he calls Drake out for being fake. He says that no one in the rap game respects him. He asks Drake how many more black features he needs until he feels black enough. And he calls Drake out for allegedly having plastic surgery. Kendrick also calls out Drake and Drake's record label saying that they tried to get the song Like That with Future and Metro Boomin that Kendrick made off the radios using cease and desist letters. In May 2024, Kendrick drops the song 616 in LA. In the song, he asks Drake if he's ever considered that someone inside of Drake's record label OVO is working for Kendrick. He calls Drake a fake bully and among other things says that Drake has been paying for information on Kendrick. The very same day, Drake drops a song called Family Matters. In the song, he calls Kendrick a fake activist. He also asks why Kendrick would question his blackness when Kendrick married a mixed queen. And he also calls Kendrick out for allegedly hitting his partner, saying when you hit a girl, is it self-defense because she's taller than you? He even alleges in the song that one time Kendrick hit her so bad after he found out about her infidelity that he had to hire a crisis management team. Minutes later, Kendrick drops the song Meet the Grams. In the song, he does 4 different verses, one addressed to Drake, one addressed to Drake's mom, one addressed to Drake's son Adonis, and one addressed to this mysterious baby girl that Drake is hiding. In his verse to Adonis, he tells him don't cut corners like your daddy did, fuck Ozempic. He says that Drake has offenders of the Nicki Minaj's husband type on his payroll. He alleges that Drake is a deadbeat and only commits to music and substances and alcohol and nothing else. And about this mysterious little girl, he says that Drake is hiding her and that instead of being with her on her 11th birthday, he's instead in Turks and Caicos paying for physical activity with women, if y'all know what I mean. And then ultimately, before Drake can even respond, Kendrick drops the song Not Like Us, which ultimately gets him to the Super Bowl. The song was so scandalous and so outrageous and so successful that I feel like it doesn't even matter what Drake would have come back with, nothing would have topped Kendrick's Not Like Us. And that, my friends, is the entire history of Drake and Kendrick Lamar's beef.